Food markets only.
Meet Susie Smart, she is so bright. On her blackboard you can write. She has a desk, she has a seat. What's your name, my dolly sweet?
My name is Susie Smart.
She can talk!
She can talk, but can she add?
2 plus 2 is 4. Cat, C-A-T.
You can spell!
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
You recite!
Press the button, she says a dozen things, complete with desk, blackboard, and seat. Susie Smart, sold at food markets only.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not going to try it. You try it. I'm not going to try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Dragging those young kids up here?
Oh, why don't you button up your lip? You're always squawking about something. You got more static than the radio.
More static than the radio? Well, to you too. Hi, everybody. It's Saturday. You have that doll, Linda? Oh, my God. I want that doll. I don't know if you ever heard the story about why I run that ad, but I'm going to tell it to you in case you haven't. When I was a little girl, that was the toy I wanted. I didn't want baby dolls that peed and pooped, you know, and all that junk. I wanted the Smart Girl doll. Well, my dad was one of those people who really did not believe in educating girls. And that doll's whole function was to educate girls. And I begged for that doll. My mom worked in a grocery store where they sold that doll. Now, we were poor, really poor. My mama bought me that doll, and she had it in the trunk of the car, and my dad made her take it back and get me this thing called Betsy Wetsy, which was a doll that you fed with a bottle and then it dumped water all over you. So I never did get my Susie Smart doll. My mom, I don't know how my mom and my dad even ended up together, because my mom absolutely believed girls should be educated, but my dad, nope. So I was not allowed to have that toy. He also made me quit when he found out that my mother had allowed me to join the Future Teachers of America. He made me quit that and every other school activity that I belonged to except chorus. But yeah, that's why I run that Susie Smart ad. Oh, I've tried to find one that has all the stuff, and I have found a few online, but they're either missing the desk, or they're missing the seat, or they're missing the chalkboard, or they don't talk anymore, or they're missing their outfit. Yeah, I have not been able to find an intact Susie Smart. So she's kind of my mascot, and someday maybe I will get my Susie Smart doll, but that's why I run that ad. It's just a reminder that there's no reason why women should not be educated. So anyway, there's no particular reason for this meeting of the Deadbeat Club, except that I've got something running on the other computer. I'm still in the process of transferring items from the old one to the new one. And I've got some diagnostics running on the old one, making sure that I'm not transferring any viral things and such over to the new computer, so I can't really work on it until all those tests get done running. So I thought, well, I'll come over here and do this, and then when that's done and I can move those files, I can start working on getting some of these packages sent out that I'm working on. So I don't even remember what I put down here for topics of discussion. Update on mail. Well, I went to the post office yesterday, and they finally had the customs forms and the plastic envelopes that they go in. I found the power supply for my postal scale. So the next project, when I can access my stuff to do it, is going to be getting all of the rest of these packages out. I have 3 or 4 that I have to actually make items to put in, so those may not get done today. Those are from my jewelry sale. Hey, New Marshall, Sky Quest, William E., Linda Wallace, Scott Jarvie. Welcome y'all to the Susie's Just Rambling Like an Idiot show. Let me see what else in the mail compartment. Once I get all this done, I got some new envelopes that are supposed to save me some money. Digging with Deeds uses them, and she's not having to spend near as much money on postage as I have been with the bubble envelopes. So I'm going to try the Deeds method on, I mean, it doesn't work for everything, but it will work for the under 1 ounce, like coins and sticker packs, that kind of stuff. And it should save me a couple dollars on each postage, so that's good. Hey, Terma! So that's one part of the mail thing. And some of you may have seen where I'm still trying to raise money for my move, which is getting closer and closer now. And wasn't getting much luck on donations in the normal ways. So I challenged the 1,000+ people on my Facebook page and the 1,000+ people on my YouTube channel to just go get an envelope and stick a dollar bill in it and mail it to me. I mean, you're really not going to miss a buck. Well, I posted that about a week ago, and I went to the P.O. box yesterday, and there were 2 envelopes in there. One of them had nothing at all to do with this. One of them was a cousin of mine inviting me to their family reunion since, the person that used to do my family reunion has passed away, and so nobody's doing it this year. So I was like, oh, okay. And then there was another one in there, another envelope. So we did actually have someone who took me up on that, grab an envelope and stick, I said $1, but there was a little more than $1 in this one. And so I want to remind everybody that if you do that, you also get your name on the donators drawing at the end of the month. It started out, it was the Patreon donations, but then I expanded it to anybody that donates money through any one of my ways of getting it, which are PayPal, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, Patreon, or stick it in an envelope and send it to me. So thank you, Jim Steele, for your contribution. Your name is on the list. Kit's Coins, Kevin Kitowski, sent me some money to help me mail some of this junk off to Canada. So he will, even though he's already a Patreon sponsor, he gets he's going to get a second spot for that donation. So we're still trying to get monetized. And I went over and checked the hours. We did go up some because we only had 1736, I think it was, last week. So we've now got 1,806 public watch hours in the last year. And the problem with watch hours is they scroll off. So we need 3,000. It used to be 4, but now it's 3. We need 3,000 to monetize. So we are still about 1,200 watch hours short. And bear in mind, they scroll off. So need y'all to get over there and start watching some of the videos, or at least turn them on and turn your sound down. Don't turn the sound off or they won't count it, but you can turn the sound down on your device and just let a playlist run or something, and that'll help us. Because like somebody asked the other night why I didn't have Super Chat. Well, you can't get Super Chat or stickers or any of that kind of stuff until you're monetized. We're not there yet. So, but we did move up some, so that's a good thing, and thank you. And I knew we were that people were doing it because somebody had, there was a real controversial thing that happened back in 2019 with a detectorist down in Florida. He made a lot of people mad, and I was one of the last people that was defending that guy. And then he finally treated me so shabbily that I gave up on him too. But somebody stumbled into those videos and made some comments. So that's how I knew people were actually going back and watching some of my stuff. Now, once I get these 2 computers where they need to be, I have a lot of footage and stuff that I've never made videos from. Most of it's from the tail end of 2021, the little bit of hunting that I was able to do in 2022, and yes, there are even a few from this year. But my problem was that my video production stuff was all on the old computer, and when I went to their website to reinstall on my new computer, they're like 2 or 3 versions ahead, and they had to I couldn't find the link to the version that I paid for, and they would not give me credit for that. So anyway, I had downloaded the new one, and my serial number wouldn't work with that. So I had a brainstorm a couple of nights ago and said, hey, dummy, why don't you go look in on the old computer in your downloads files, in the download folder, and see if your version is still in there. And by golly, it was. And then my brother gave me this program that it's a tech thing that pretty much gives you every statistic about the computer that you run it on, including giving you a list of product keys and that sort of thing. So I was able to finally recover the software and the recovery key. So later on today, I'm going to try to put that on the new machine. And because I like that program, I'm familiar with it. I can do videos pretty quickly with it because I've been using it for 3-4 years. So hopefully I'll be getting some more videos up there, which will get some more watch time, which will get us closer to monetizing. Now, what else are we gonna do here? Oh, I found a thing full of pennies. And I got a couple of things full of pennies. And one of them I think belongs in a project I'm doing with Doug Harding. But I gotta look and see. Yep, these are Harding's 68s. Yeah, so that I gotta get over there with the mail. But before I do, I found a whole bunch of pennies that I thought were 82s for my 82 project. But as it turns out, they're just copper. And they've been here for a while. So I don't know what's in them. I don't know if I was sorting 68s. I don't know if I was sorting 82s. Yeah, see, this is my 82s that we were weighing the other day. So I got to get them processed. So at least now in those, I know which ones are copper and which ones are zincs. But then I got all these other containers. I'm still finding money. I set things aside and then I forget what they are, or they get pushed to the back of the shelf, or like this is a container of 83s. Got to do with that. But before I do either one of those things, I gotta go through this pile of copper. Oh, poo-poo. And see what's in there. Because I don't know if there's 82s and 83s and 68s, and I don't know what's in there. But I did take $87 worth of rolled coins back to the bank yesterday. And so, oh geez, there. Trying to rig. I got to get a little mini tripod of some kind. I had one and it got lost out in the metal detecting search field. I guess I picked up the camera and didn't pick up the tripod, so I don't have that anymore. Okay, let's go there. So I'm going to look at a few of these pennies while I sit here and just run my mouth. Assuming I can get a camera working. Oh, it's working, but the scale's upside down. There we go. I don't really. Oh, come on. I hate this. I have no room. This desk, by the way, is not, I repeat, not going with me when I move. It is a pain. It does not have any logical storage space, and it's broken anyway. So, see what we got. I don't need that, really, except if I find an 82 or an 83. Oh my goodness. We are just a mess here today. You can see why I'm not trying to do anything complicated right now. I'm not fully awake, and they have limited my coffee intake, and that really stinks because I like coffee. I love coffee. And where did I put the jar with the 60s stuff in it? There. It's the one that says 60s on it. Who'd have thunk? Oh, let me see who's over here in the chatty cat now. Live streams give you watch time. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm doing one today. I figured if I had to sit here piddle with stuff on my desk, I might as well get some watch time. Right now it says there's only one person in here, so. Oh, now it says two. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, I haven't decided if I'm going to do a giveaway yet today, but it could happen. It could happen, and then everybody would miss it. I'm trying to come up with how I'm going to. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people on Saturday, but I figured if I got to sit here at my desk and I got to use all this equipment, I might as well let it run. Maybe somebody will come back and watch it later. Find out they missed me giving away $1 million or something. Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Oh, geez. Oops, there's another 68. See, these were not sorted. Because that's the second 68 I've pulled out of here. This is just a general bin of copper. I'm sorting the 60s and the 68s. Any 82, see there's 82. So yeah, this bucket here, other than being sorted as copper, has not actually been sorted. Now, I went to the bank yesterday. I did not pick up a box of anything because I have so much of these strange projects like this lying all over the desk. And I thought, okay, let's get this money sorted and done before we bring another box of anything in. Ooh, there's a 59. Almost in the wheat field, leaning on the fence post. There's another 68. I wish I could save my copper, but I really can't. I just don't have the room, and I'm trying to get ready to move, which is a whole nother new problem in that area. The old manager and I had an agreement that because they knew I was on a waiting list to move for medical reasons. And our agreement was that when my apartment in Michigan became ready, that they would allow me out of my lease with no penalty. And what that means is that I would not have to pay off the remaining months on my lease. I mean, it's not like I'm going to be leaving them with no income. These apartments have a 2-year waiting list. So, you know, they'll have it rented out in 3 days. You know, however long it takes them to touch up the paint. And, you know, pretty much that's it. So, the new management called me the other day wanting me to come sign another year's lease. My lease runs out the end of October. And I mentioned this to her, and she's like, well, no, we can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we're going to have to charge you. And I said, well, then I'm not signing a lease for another year. That's not going to happen. And then I was nice, but I reminded her that she was opening the complex up for yet another round of trouble with the federal government. This is a federally subsidized complex. And one of the things, whether they were federally subsidized or not, if you're disabled and you live in one of these places, and you have to move for medical reasons, it falls under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Well, the reason I have to move is there are no doctors in 2 states, Virginia or North Carolina, who are specialists in this one ultra rare disease that I have. And they have all told me I need to go back to Michigan. That's the whole deal with going back to Michigan, is I can get treatment at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. So I get to, on Monday, I've already had one dealing with this place and the Americans with Disabilities Act, which involved them wanting to enter my unit with no mask or gloves while I had COVID. I mean, if they're willing to kill themselves, that's one thing, but I'm not going to let them come into my apartment and spread COVID all over the building. So we've already had one battle with them, and that's why our other manager is gone, because she's the one that tried to do that, and she got fired for it. So now this one wants to refuse to let me move. Now, I would think if I didn't like a tenant and I knew I could get rid of them and rent that apartment to somebody else, I'd be saying, yeah, Suze, leave. We don't mind. We'll give you a good reference. I've always paid my rent and everything. They have nothing that they can go after me for except the refusal to let them in when I had COVID. So, but yeah, if it were my apartment, I'd be like, yeah, let's just get her out of here. And so Monday, I have to get a hold of the Commonwealth of Virginia and file another ADA complaint. There's a thing under the Americans with Disabilities Act. It's called reasonable accommodation. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means a lot of things. Like, a very simple one is if your unit does not allow pets and someone who wants to rent has an emotional support animal or a service animal, you kind of got to let them in. It's just part of the federal law. Another example is if you somebody gets sick and they live on the second floor and they can no longer get to their apartment because they can't get to the second floor, reasonable accommodations would allow them to A, be moved to the first floor if you have a unit available, or be released from their lease because they no longer can access the apartment. There are a number of things that fall under that category, and one of them is having to move to get to necessary medical care. That's the situation I'm in. So I guess Monday I got to start fighting with these people again. And in the interim, I've already started packing because one way or another, I am not going to be in this apartment past October. So, but by then, the way things are moving, I should actually be in Michigan by then. Praise the Lord. That way I can start getting some treatment before I go completely blind or get paralyzed. So, anyway, I'm just bebopping along doing all these little projects. And when the other thing, well, my problem with them, New Marshall, is she's threatening to give the new apartments that I'm moving to in Michigan a bad reference. And that's not legal. And I'm not going to let them get away with it because I wonder how many other people they have done that to, you know? But I very politely let her know because her first threat was, well, I'm going to call so-and-so, who is her boss, Now, her boss is listed in my reasonable accommodations thing that was written by my doctor, because among all the other things, the autoimmune disorders and all the other crap I have, I also have post-traumatic stress disorder, and this guy is one of the triggers of my stress. He's very condescending and threatening type personality, and my doctor, when she wrote up my reasonable accommodation forms, listed in there that they should avoid sending that man to my unit, or him having anything to do with me. They have other people that can contact me and deal with me. He does not have to be the one. So when she threatened to send him over, I said, well, you can do that. I said, if you want to end up like Lisa, who doesn't have a job here anymore, you're welcome to go that route. But all in all, it would just be a whole lot easier on everybody if you would just, oh, honey, I have so many documents. And here's what happened on the first one. I had all the documentation. And to be totally inclusive, I sent not only to the ADA, but I also sent the documents to the office here at the apartments and the management company's office in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, when I sent those, I sent them certified mail, so they would have to be signed for. So they couldn't say, oh, we never got that. Well, guess what? They refused to sign for them, so after a certain amount of time, they were brought back to me as by the post office as being undeliverable, that they had never been opened. So I still have the unopened envelopes where they refused to accept the documents. And so now I will be sending photographs of that along with a new cover letter explaining what has happened since the first incident back to the ADA, and I'm also sending a new letter back to Charlotte and to the office here with the same forms that I sent them before. And if they again refuse, I've been told by the lady at the ADA that the federal government will be looking at taking their subsidies away from them. And that would, unfortunately, that would devastate a lot of people that live here. And so I'd rather that they just comply with the, the government standards that they're supposed to. But if they really want to lose millions of dollars, they can keep messing with me. Because I ain't playing. And I won't be here because I'm leaving anyway, whether they tell me I got to pay them or not. But it is illegal for them to force me to do that. It's against federal law. So I think what happens here is they have a lot of people that work for this company that really don't understand. They may have real estate licenses, but I don't think they really understand how things work when you get into the Americans with Disabilities Act, and when you get into federal subsidized housing for seniors, and they're just trying to intimidate people. And why you want to intimidate a bunch of old people? It's not going to do you any good. We don't have any money. You can jump up and down and act like that all you want. It's not going to make money appear out of Social Security that isn't there. Oh, yeah, here's another one since you mentioned that, New Marshall, about credit cards. Here's one I learned not too long ago, and it worked. Um, I was keeping all my bills paid till I started getting real sick. And then some of them, I just had to use that money for um, other things, like prescriptions and stuff that my insurance wasn't covering, or transportation, because my insurance would only cover X number of rides a year, X number of miles, etc. So I got behind on a couple of them, and because they wouldn't work with me. I called them and said, "Hey, look, here's what's going on," and they were like, "Well, we're going to turn you over to collections or blah blah blah." I said, "Well, you're going to have to do that then, because it is what it is. I don't have anything to give you." So at a certain point, uh, I found out that um, I think it was three of them had just closed my account and written it off, and then sold it to one of these collection agencies that, even though the thing has already been written off, they will try to intimidate you into paying it anyway. Well, I was watching this video on YouTube. God bless YouTube. And the guy's talking about these collection agencies that are trying to intimidate you into paying these amounts of money. And one of the things he pointed out was, you do not have a contract with a collection agency. You didn't sign anything agreeing to pay them any amount of money, anytime, anywhere, any day. Your contract was with the credit card company. And when the credit card company closed your account and wrote off what you owed, that was the end of your contract with them. So, what he said, and this guy's a lawyer, he was a bankruptcy lawyer. He said, what you do, he said, don't pay the collection anything, don't offer to pay them anything, just simply write them a brief letter indicating, I do not have a signed agreement with you that I owe you any money. If you can produce such a thing, please send it to me. Otherwise, I do not owe you any money. And if you persist in harassing me, trying to collect a debt I do not own, I'll send it to my attorney. So I said, okay, I'm going to try this, because I had one that was like every day they were calling me. Every freaking day. Calling me, sending me letters, just harassing the pants off of me over like $250. So I sent them the little letter, just like the guy said, and I got a response back within 10 days, and they said, we will no longer, oh, and I told them, and take this off, get this off my credit record. That was the other. Within 10 days, they wrote me back and said, we had, they make it real condescending, funny, but they said, we have deliberated and decided to drop any further efforts to collect this amount, and have advised the credit bureau to remove it from your record, and it's gone. So that does work, because they technically, the only agreement they have is between your original credit card company and themselves. They have nothing that you signed that said you would pay them. You only had something you signed that said you would pay the credit card company. And if the credit card company has written it off, the collection agent has no legitimate grounds for trying to collect unless they can prove you signed an agreement with them saying you'd pay them. They don't have anything to stand on. And so you are absolutely right on that one, New Marshall. Heck, I have one credit card company, and I'm going to tell everybody who it is. Do not deal with Credit One. Do not deal with Credit One Bank. They actually allowed my now ex-husband, his girlfriend got a hold of my account number and info because he had it to use for emergencies if he needed to get transportation from where he was to the VA. So somehow she got a hold of it, and she called this company and told them I was dead. Well, now, I hardly ever use this card. It was a card I had for emergencies. Actually, I had two of them, and they were both for emergencies. One was I used for medical emergencies, and one I used for automotive emergencies. Like if I was traveling and had a flat tire or something, I could put it on that card. So she calls these people and tells them I'm dead. And so they froze my accounts. Now, I like I said, I don't use them, so I'm just making my payment every month, trying to pay them off. And then one day I had an emergency, and I went to use the card, and it was declined. And I'm like, what do you mean it's declined? So I've been paying on this thing every month. Shouldn't be declined. So I call them up, and they said, well, we show that you're deceased. I'm like, well, I'm not deceased. If I was deceased, how would I be paying you out of my personal bank account every month? Well, it went on and on and on for months. Now, they took this lady's word over the phone that I was dead, but for me to reinstate, I had to send my ID, I had to send my Social Security info, I had to send all kinds of stuff. So they reinstated them after a year, and they added on all these fees and stuff. Now, I had been paying on it all along. My brother said, you'd have been better off if you'd have just let them think you were dead. And in hindsight, I would have. But they're the one right now that I'm working on. They have finally turned me over to somebody else. So now I got to get rid of them. But yeah, credit card people, once, and if you go look at your credit report, especially the Experian credit reports, they're really good for telling you if the company has actually written the debt off. If it shows that so and so bank wrote your credit card debt off, if it says it was written off, then they have already taken their tax credit loss and all of that. They've already been paid that way. And then they've also been paid by selling your info to the collections agency. But just because they sold your info to the collections agency does not mean the collection agency has any legal right to force you to pay them. None. Unless you got on the phone or signed a piece of paper agreeing to pay that credit agency, they got no right. And you can just tell them, hey, look, I have no written contract with you. If you don't leave me alone, You know, you're violating the law. I don't owe you any money. I owed so and so money, and they have already written it off and taken their tax credit for it. So, nope. And as soon as I did that to the first one, they wrote me back within 10 days. They took it right off my credit rating. My credit rating went up like a big chunk when I got rid of them. So now I'm gonna do another one. I've got the same letter. I'm just gonna change the name of the company and do the same thing again. I should be able to clear up pretty much everything that's negative on my credit at this point. There's one on there. These people got a lot of nerve. They're trying to collect something that, number one, I've already paid and I can prove it. But number two, it's from 2013. This is 2023. This is a 10-year-old thing. Stuff is supposed to go off your credit rating after 7 years. But this is not even the original creditor. This is some fly-by-night ding-dong that thinks I'm going to pay him $150 something for a Comcast bill that was paid years ago. And the proof, one of the pieces of proof is, if you don't pay your bill to the cable company is not going to transfer your service to another address. They just don't. Utility companies are the same way. If you don't pay your power bill, and they turn off your power, they will not turn your power on at another address until you pay that old bill. Well, I have had Comcast Infinity, let me see, in Michigan. This was a Florida bill. This was from when my mom died. So I had them for 6 years in Michigan, a couple years in Georgia, and I have them now. So there's no way no way I could have that service if I hadn't paid the bill. So they're going to be another one on my list. Hey Les, how you doing, sweetie? Well, I went through all those pennies. I found some more 68s. I found an 82. I found a bunch of 60s. And so I think I can go work on my other computer now. Let me go take a quickie look, see where that project's at. I'm transferring files from a computer to a 1 terabyte thumb drive. So then I can just take the thumb drive and plug it into the other one. Alrighty. Yep. Looks like she's good to go. So I guess I'm gonna get off of this and go work on mail for a while, especially those pesky out of the United States ones. Let me see here. James Eller, I will be taking those photos you asked for either today or tomorrow. Looking to see if anybody else in here I have a message for. New Marshall, I found a container to put your prize in. So I'm going to try to get that done today. I'm going to try to get all the prizes done so they can go out on Monday. And because I got a ton of stuff that's got to get done. Oh, and I started my physical therapy officially yesterday. Now, they were here earlier in the week just to evaluate what my condition is, how I got this way and what do we got to do to get me out of it. And y'all will be pleased to know that I actually got to drive my car a little bit. I can't go very far in my car because it doesn't behave very well, but I did go to the store all by myself yesterday. So, yeah, I will, James. I'm going to send it to the same email that I got the request for him from. But anyway, I did get out yesterday and managed to do so without fainting or. I was pretty tired when I got home, but another pile of pennies I found here. But I had my first actual physical therapy session yesterday. We're trying to build the muscles in my legs so that I can start getting out and doing some detecting again. So I did pretty good yesterday, but I came in and I just put my cold groceries away, and I sat down on the couch. This was about 3:30. My brother woke me up at 4:30. Talked to him for about 5 minutes, and I fell back to sleep, and I didn't wake up till almost 9 o'clock. So it was quite a day yesterday, but I did all right. Oh, here's my blue penny. I don't know if it'll come up blue or not, but somebody painted this blue. My blue penny. Let's see what this penny is. I just finding pennies lying all over the place. Oh, that's a in there penny. Oh yeah. I need y'all to help me figure out what I'm gonna do to give away another pinpointer. I have not decided yet how we're gonna do that. I had fun doing the wheel, but that it was really time consuming. But by doing it that way, where you had to qualify at different times, these look like Wheaties here. It got me some more watch hours, and that was why I was doing it. Yeah, this is unsorted Wheaties that I gotta look in the albums and see if I need. So if you have any suggestions about how I should, yeah, I liked the wheel. The wheel was fun. And I like having all the different ways of getting people to qualify because, like I said, that gets me more watch hours if you have to come on at different times to get qualified, and we need the watch hours here. So I will probably go with that again, or a giant duck race. We'll see. And I went yesterday, I was going to get another one of those, the quarter collecting kits that I've been picking up because I like them. And unfortunately, the price on them went up. by $3. So I didn't get one because I'm kind of waiting to see if I see the manager and ask him if they're going to be going on sale anytime soon, because I don't really want to spend as much as they now are. They're not really a bargain now like they were. But they really are such a good prize because they have so many uh, good usable things in them. Everything from the actual album to the storage containers. They're still a good bargain, but I just opted to hold off a little bit since I have these other things I can give away. So I was looking around here trying to find something to give away right now, but I'm not having much luck. My area here is a mess. That's why I'm doing this. I'm just picking up. Oh, here's my penny with the heart on it. It's really just some kind of a stain, but it looks like a heart. Hey, T-Rip! What's happening? I'm getting about ready to get off of here. Go work on the computer and the mail. So, anyway, I just figured I'd do this, pick up a few more view hours while my files were transferring. So, I'll probably come back on later tonight and do a few more. That's the only thing from keeping the channel from monetizing is the view hours. So we'll just keep plugging away. What are these pennies? God, I keep finding pennies. Just like little stacks of pennies. That goes into 68. I have no idea. No, I'm just cleaning up the mess left on my desk from coin hunting. And I have all these little stacks of things. And I'm trying to tidy them up. And then we'll go back through them later and look for errors. Oh, there's my 69S. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do there, T. I think first I would go over on like eBay and see if, and go under the sold rather than just what are being offered, and see if people are selling the full rolls or how they're handling that. Yeah, I always make sure when I get stuff from the bank, I always make sure to tell them that I want circulated coins. And I'm amazed sometimes I get these really young tellers and they have no idea what a circulated coin is. And I'm like, honey, it means ones that people have already, they've been out in the wild. Yeah, Incognito's been on metal detecting for a while, and I knew I was going over him, and I felt bad, but I got to do what I got to do for my channel sometimes, and if I waited for all my friends to not be on, I'd never get a time slot. Just would never get one. There's a few more pennies off my desk. Okay, is that the same 69S, or do I have two of them? Oh, I got two of them. There we go. Those two go together. And I got a bunch of nickels up here. I don't know what they are all about. These are 50s. Put them in with the 60s. Alright, there's my three crazy ones. And I don't know what these nickels are. But I got rid of a whole bunch of coins that were all over my desk. So, alright, well, y'all go watch Incognito. Tell him I sent you. And that I'm sorry I danced on his parade. And I'll come back on later. By then, maybe I'll have found something I can give away. So, there we go. Alrighty, I'll see everybody in a little while. I gotta go get these files transferred. The sooner I can get all the stuff from the old machine to the new one, the better I can start making my shows, because I can run more cameras. I can get out of StreamYard and, you know, do some other things where we have some games maybe, and I can start producing videos again. So yeah, the sooner I get everything moved, the better. So anyway, y'all go watch me, a couple of my videos, give me some times. Go back and watch the old ones. They're hilarious, especially my metal detecting ones, where I'm getting chased by bees and stuff. See y'all later. Thanks for coming. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. Bye-bye.